No, yes, actually, I'm I have been to enough of these weddings to know that the first thing you do is you acknowledge the woman of the hour. And that being said, Arlene, you look beautiful tonight. You guys are all speeched out, and and you were really ready to photobomb the bad dancers. But I wanted to acknowledge a couple people here tonight that were part of this journey that are here for Kate and Pat. So I promise to be short and sweet. And speaking of which, Jay LeBlanc is here. It's especially nice that Jay is here, because at this time during the day, this is when Jay's coming in from the night before. All right. Look, we got Dave G here, Dave Granada. Dave's been a loyal friend of Pat ever since Pat was small and Dave was tall and skinny, and now Pat's no longer small, but Dave is, well, he's tall and skinny. Without Dave G, this day would not have happened. And the reason being is that Dave decided to not go out that night that Pat met Katie at Black Bear. And the reason that Dave's a blocker, you know what I mean? Like, Dave would have stepped in there and offered different antidotes like, hey Pat, you remember that time you didn't shower for 3 days? Or stuff like, Statler thinks that Romo's better than Eli, And, so it's kind of nice that Dave stayed home that night. But just last week, while sitting at my parents' table, true story, swear on my kids, Dave read my wife a text message I sent to him when I was en route to Pat's Atlantic City bachelor party. And that text read, and I quote, "Looking forward to partying without my wife and kids." All right. Thanks, Dave. Now, speaking of that Atlantic City bachelor party, we have Corey Wren and Jerry Tavella Jr. here. Now, most of us get sort of consumed with the commercialization of this day, the photographers, the band, flowers, etc. But leave it to those two to remind us the significance, the religious significance of that day. Because on that weekend, they reminded us about this special day because they spoke in religious tongues. And it was really nice. It was, Corey was going, and one time the security guard came over to Corey and says, "Are you overserved?" And Corey looked at him and said, "No." And then the security guard says, "Okay, well, I want you to walk 10 feet. And Corey said, "Okay." And Corey went like this. So, in addition to Pat and Kate getting married, it's also the dance that we're going to be doing later on. So. I see Grandma Glow is here. Thank you for acknowledging me. 58 years and 9 months ago, if Glow didn't wear that pretty dress and have her hair all dolled up, would we really be here? Last we have the recently girlfriended up Jay Somers. Now, as a tribute to his beloved Cowboys, he likes to give an X. Which is, ironic, because if he keeps on doing that in front of his girlfriend, that's exactly what he's going to have. All right, moving on. When Pat asked me to, Andy, please come on over here. When Pat asked me to be his best man, I was a happy brother. I mean, I was even happier when I found out that Andy was going to be the co-best man, because he's a brother to us. And then I started thinking about, Andy and I are going to be standing next to each other and on pictures all over, and then we're going to be documented with these pictures. And then I started saying, wow, Pat, you could not have picked two opposite ends of the weight scale than me and Andy. Andy, I feel like his Hardy to his Laurel, his Chris Farley to his David Spade. I kind of feel like his Chloe to his Lamar. Oh, that got you mad. All right. I thought the Cabela side was crazy. All right, no, all right. All right, but you know what? Thank God, wedding figurines do not invite themselves on cake, so I'm happy. All right, Pat was born in Greenwich, Connecticut in 1986, but if you ask my mom, he was born 2,014 years ago in a manger in front of sheep and 3 wise men. He was the best younger brother, you know, an older brother could ask for. We would play games that we made up, and if he got hurt, I would get into his face and say, "Get up, Patrick, get up." And he would. And then when I was 5 years old, you know, I broke my hip in a high school soccer game, and while I was being tended to on the field by parents and coaches, Patrick broke through. And he came up to me and he kicked me in the head. And he says, "Get up, Matt, get up." It has a happy ending. For the next 20 years of his life, I kicked his ass for that. So, but with a quiet demeanor, Pat has a unique way of rallying people around. You enjoy being in his presence. He has an incredible sense of humor and a disarming wit. He also has a unique habit about him. And that's every time he goes to O'Neill's, he can look in his dirty hamper and find clothes that don't match and somehow sell it. I mean, some of us can recall the sandals, the knee-high soccer socks, or LeBron's basketball shorts, or a Dolphins jersey. But he sells it. Besides, today, one of my proudest moments of being Pat's brother.
Come on! Don't do it. Don't do it. Come on! I got your back. My daughter's here. Hey, Jesus, man.
Come on, Matt.
Sent to my mom from the parent of a middle school classmate of Patrick's. Her son had pent up anger and was very uptight. She went on and wrote how Pat single-handedly taught the kid to pull through the tough times and reach for the good. That kid today is an executive with the Yankees. Okay. All Saints, you're right. All Saints. Little does Pat know. Little does most know that Pat grew up 6 blocks from Kate. Now people ask if I heard of her, and I hadn't, but I heard her. You know what I mean? Kate, where's my Kate? You are beautiful. You're fun. You're an adventure. And you could cook up a Stu Leonard's pesto dip better than anybody. Pat, you found the perfect girl to marry. And the best addition to our family. Plus, and allow me to be a little selfish here, I'm related to Jerry now. And you know what that means? I no longer need an invite to the cabana. Matter of fact, after the wedding, I'm going to pull a first blood, and I am going to barricade the cabana, and nobody can get in there except for me. This is a great day for everyone to celebrate. Through Pat and Kate's love, 2 families that love, party, laugh, and eat have come together, setting the stage for some incredible holidays, drama, and memories to create. Today is one of them. Friends and family, the crazy just got crazier. So now I ask you to raise your glasses. May your days together be filled with happiness and joy, with health, fortune, and always be hand in hand. May your child be a pretty girl or a handsome boy, or Arlene will send them back and say, "That wasn't the plan." I love you both.